One Instagram post. That's all it took for Arnel Pineda to make people wonder if the impossible dream he'd been living for 17 years was finally about to end. September 2007 started with him sleeping in Manila parks, scraping together whatever cash he could find just to eat. By December, Neil Schon was calling him to San Francisco for an audition with Journey, one of rock music's most legendary bands. The jump from street performer to stadium frontman happened so fast it barely felt real, and for years Pineda kept waiting to wake up from what seemed like a fever dream. But dreams have a cost, and by the time he walked off stage at Rock in Rio, exhausted and defeated after a performance that went sideways in every possible way, that cost had become too heavy to carry alone. What he did next, opening up about his doubts and asking fans whether they still wanted him, sparked a conversation that revealed both the cruelty and the kindness that live side by side in the music industry. Born September 5, 1967 at St. Luke's Hospital in Tondo, Manila, Arnel came into a world that wouldn't make things easy. As the eldest of 4 siblings, he fell into the role of protector while their mother Josefina, who he called Ama in Kapampangan, held the family together through sheer will. Money was tight, but Ama believed education mattered more than comfort, so she enrolled Arnel in a Catholic school despite the financial strain. Outside the classroom, Arnel sang in the glee club, performed with the Rondalla troupe, and jumped at every chance to take the stage. At one school program, he chose a Karen Carpenter song that confused everyone since it was written for a female voice. But the choice made sense because his mother played the Carpenters constantly at home. Even as a child, his vocal range stood out. National television came calling before he finished elementary school, when his school selected him to perform on a quiz show. He sang Gano Kita Kamahal by Celeste Legaspi, marking his first appearance in front of cameras that reached beyond his neighborhood. Then, everything collapsed. During his final years of junior high, rheumatic heart disease took his mother after a long fight that drained what little money they had. Hospital bills and funeral costs wiped them out completely. The family fractured under the weight of loss and poverty, forcing the siblings to split up and move in with different relatives. As a teenager, Arnel slept in public parks or crashed with friends, clinging to school until survival demanded he let it go. Jobs came and went, each one just enough to keep him fed. In an interview with ABS-CBN, he admitted those years pulled him into drugs and alcohol, and at his lowest point, he wanted to die. But something inside refused to quit, some stubborn belief that a bigger life was waiting if he could just hold on. 1982 brought his first real shot when he became the lead singer of Egos at 15, bringing his brother to live with him in a converted warehouse they shared with rats and roaches. After everything he'd survived, having a roof and a microphone felt like progress. Small gigs at Shakey's Pizza in Manila built his confidence, and by 1986, some Egos members regrouped to form AMO, winning the Rock Wars National Band competition. Fatherhood arrived when he was 20, followed by marriage and eventually a second child, though neither relationship lasted. In 1988, they won the Philippine leg of the Yamaha World Band Explosion and earned a trip to Hong Kong for the finals, only to get disqualified because they'd performed Bohemian Rhapsody instead of an original song. By 1990, Arnel and some AMO members formed Intensity 5, with Arnel winning Best Vocalist, while the band placed first runner-up at Yamaha. That same year, 5 members split from their leader and teamed up with Arnel to create New Age, right before AMO released their only album with its radio hit, Running Away. New Age started regular gigs at Fire and Rain in Makati, which led to a talent agent offering them work in Hong Kong at a restaurant called Grammys. They performed 6 nights a week for several years until a brutal breakup in 1994 left Arnel's health shattered and his voice nearly destroyed. 6 months of rest in the Philippines brought his voice back slowly, and he returned to Hong Kong. By 1998, a horror-themed nightclub called Igor's invited New Age to perform regularly, so they rebranded as the Rolling Bones and suited up in skeleton costumes. 1999 shifted everything when Warner Brothers Records signed him for a solo album. 10 original songs mostly built on emotional ballads. Iyak Ka Rin became a karaoke favorite across Asia, while Sayang dominated radio playlists. Arnel wrote and arranged several tracks himself, but never stopped performing live with New Age. In 2001, he collaborated with South Border on Looking Glass, then formed 9mm that became a local favorite at Hard Rock Cafe in Makati. By 2004, 3 former New Age bandmates reunited with him and added a female vocalist, rebranding as Most Wanted and performing marathon sets of 3 to 4 hours nightly at the Cavern Club in Hong Kong. Filipino talent manager Bert De Leon convinced Arnel to move back to the Philippines in 2006, where he formed the Zoo with guitarist Monet Kahipe and other musicians. Signed to De Leon's Sundance Entertainment, the Zoo lit up Manila and Olongapo clubs with long sets every night. By the following year, their Journey covers had built them a reputation, and fan Noel Gomez started posting their performances on YouTube. Halfway across the world, Journey guitarist Neil Schon was watching because Journey needed a new frontman after Steve Augeri stepped down in 2006. When Schon reached out through Gomez, Arnel figured it was another empty industry promise, but this one was real. Getting a U.S. visa from the Philippines is notoriously difficult, but the embassy officer approving Arnel's application remembered seeing him perform. After a week of intense auditions, Arnel Pineda became Journey's new lead singer. February 2008 in Chile brought his first concert with the band, and backstage he was ready to quit before even stepping into the spotlight. The band pushed him forward, and when he finally hit the stage, the crowd went wild while critics raved about how closely he sounded like Steve Perry, Journey's iconic original frontman. One night he was playing clubs, and the next he was commanding stadiums packed with 30,000 fans. By the time Journey reached its 13th year with Arnel, their anthem, Don't Stop Believin', had found new life despite making no noise when first released in 1981. A Glee cover exploded in popularity in 2010, climbing to number 4 on the U.S. charts and introducing the song to a generation that hadn't been born when it was written. Pop culture moments like Glee and The Sopranos finale brought students who'd never heard the band suddenly belting out every lyric. After a rough night at Rock in Rio, Arnel took to Instagram and laid everything out without sugarcoating anything. Exhaustion, doubt, and the question of whether to walk away from Journey poured out in a post that caught everyone off guard. Months of relentless touring without rest had taken their toll on his body and voice, and Rock in Rio was where it all crashed down. Technical problems, vocal fatigue, and emotional pressure overwhelmed him during a performance he struggled through. He posted a video from that Rio performance showing his trouble hitting notes during Don't Stop Believin' due to faulty ear monitors, then wrote a long Facebook post thanking fans but admitting how crushed he felt. What stood out most was his vulnerability when he told fans that if they truly wanted him gone, he'd step aside, asking them to vote go or stay. Comments poured in full of love, with fans rallying around him and reminding him that off nights happen to every artist. Drummer Dean Castronovo defended Arnel on Instagram, pointing out that a voice isn't a machine, but a living instrument that soars some nights and struggles others. Castronovo revealed in an interview with Ultimate Classic Rock that Arnel had been struggling with a vocal issue for over a decade without telling anyone, but once he connected with a vocal coach and they simply turned the stage volume down, everything changed. For 14 years, Arnel had pushed through without asking for help until a new sound engineer named Tom came along. Keyboardist Jonathan Kane posted online thanking Arnel for his 16 years with the band. Founding guitarist Neil Schon addressed the bigger issue, claiming that Avenged Sevenfold, the headliners that night, controlled the festival's sound setup and limited Journey's audio so much the crowd couldn't hear them properly. Schon shared a video clip proving the audience was still engaged and called out what he saw as fake outrage. A wild rumor exploded online claiming Arnel had been sentenced to life in prison in San Francisco, spread through a YouTube video that used the Fox News logo without permission. Dropping just days after Journey wrapped a show in Las Vegas, the video racked up nearly 700,000 views in 2 days. Fox News never ran any such story. Fans flooded Arnel's Instagram with questions until he stepped in to make it clear the whole thing was fake. Friend Jenny Moore jumped on Facebook confirming Arnel was safe in Manila spending time with his kids, warning that spreading fake news could bring legal consequences. Manager Yuli Suarez called the video completely false, confirming Journey's management was working to get it removed from YouTube. Filipino-American artists raised concerns about the dangers of blurring the line between fake news and real journalism. Despite the noise, Journey powered through their 50th anniversary Freedom Tour, closing in Las Vegas to rave reviews. 17 years in, Arnel's love for Journey hasn't wavered, and the spotlight that brought him worldwide recognition also made him a target in some of the internet's ugliest spaces. But he's still here, still singing, still amazed that he gets to be the one standing on that stage.